yet. Chances are that the rest will follow suit at some stage. And although there weren't any injuries, I think we were very lucky that there weren't. And there were people trapped in Reed's farm for a day or so until we managed to clear the trees from the driveway. These are some of the pine trees at Reed's farm as well, and again, those are putting campers at risk. This is Spa Thermal Park, looking down towards the river, and the trees in question are the ones that are to the left of the walkway as you walk down towards the river. And this is looking at that same group of trees from the opposite side of the park. This is some of the damage that happened in the last couple of storm events. You can see that there are a lot of broken and fallen trees. Again, that still needs to be cleaned up. And these are some of the trees further into that group of trees. They have very little value in terms of either amenity or as timber. So there probably won't be a great return from them if they're logged. But their time has come, essentially. A lot of the trees in there are 60 to 70 years old, and they're becoming dangerous. These are some of the ones down by the river. They fall on a regular basis, block walkways, and there are some very big trees there. Owen Delaney Park, the trees in question are actually opposite the back entrance to the AC baths. One of them has already fallen into the stream. There's a couple of other large ones that are threatening power lines, and then there's a big group of other trees in behind them that are right next to the motor camp.
Alison, just stopping there, that group of trees there is just on your right hand side before you turn into the golf club, eh?
On your left before you turn into the golf club.
On your left, not the right.
No.
As you're heading up Centennial Drive towards the golf club from town.
Right on the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on the corner.
So that's our land.
Where the floodwater thing is.
Yeah. It's our land. It's actually closer to Spa Park than Owen Delaney Park, but technically it's part of Owen Delaney Park. It's a funny little parcel that goes all the way along the frontage of the motor camp.
The other piece on the right hand side going into the golf club's docks, eh?
No, that's ours. And we've already taken...
Yeah, we had a whole lot of trees we've taken out of there.
Taken a lot of trees out of there already, yeah. I think a lot of these big trees are the legacy of the big fire that went through in the 40s and just spread seed all over the district. And so now, 70 years later, we're dealing with a lot of big pine trees. Now these ones are down on the Lakefront Reserve. These are some of the ones that we would like to take out this winter. They are what we consider to be the worst specimens of the ones that are down there. They are badly affected by decay. They are pruned fairly hard every year or two, and it's becoming increasingly difficult for our arborist to find solid wood to actually cut back into. The tops of the branches are badly damaged by sun scald and decay, and they are going to start dropping chunks eventually. In fact, half of one of the trees fell over just recently.
I have heard from one of our ratepayers that they've been too hardly pruned in the past, and that's the result of what we've got as a result of them. They are pretty valuable, aren't they, on the lakefront?
We have started planting replacement trees in between them and along that road, so that there will be something to replace these trees.
Shade, particularly in the summer, that's what they're probably...
It'll take the replacement trees a wee while to get up and replace these, and I'm not suggesting that we take them all out at once. A staged replacement.
Okay.
Excuse me, Councillor Downard.
Yeah, I mean, all the other trees I've got not a problem with, because they're either because of the storm or in places that aren't really significantly. But unfortunately, any tree along the lakefront, you'll get a huge public response, and that's where I was really. I know I'm not an arbitrist, but it could be a big public backlash. I mean, do we keep those separately and go? I don't know.
Councillor Hickling.
Yeah, I've got some concerns, particularly about the ones on the lakefront, and particularly reference to the risk of high winds and things. I'll look out this window, right just there. There's two enormous gum trees enormous. If any trees are going to go with high winds, those two are going to go, and they would cause huge problems. At least these have been topped and they've been pruned. Okay, some of them are probably quite misshapen and one or two of them could come out, but I would really not like to see them all come out. I mean, some of those, although they've been pruned, they're a reasonable shape and they give some shade during the summer. And I can't, I mean, if some branches just blow out of there, I don't think it's going to damage anybody personally, because they're not huge. They're not huge branches. How much branches was blown off in the big wind? Because it all comes through, right through the top of town. The winds that we get, we've had two, Cyclone Bowler and the last one that's just come through. And they was almost in the identical place through town.
This
We
photo,
got exactly the same damage.
this photo here, the photo on the right-hand tree is a Amelia.
Yeah.
And you'll see it's looking a bit lopsided. That's because half of it's missing, because the other half blew off in the
I've
last
got no
storm.
problem with things like that, but the other slide that you showed, the previous slide, no, the one, there's another one somewhere.
No,
That one, I mean, those trees look quite a decent shape.
Oh, they look fine at the moment because they've still got their vegetation on, but if we continue to pollard them, essentially,
Yeah, but
which is what
you
we
don't,
do,
You don't
then it
pollard
will just
those.
be a framework of rotten branches that are left.
You don't pollard those. You know, some of the work that I've seen done on here is it's just not good arborist work, in my opinion.
So you're suggesting that we let those trees continue to grow?
No, you just trim them. You don't pollard them. It's different.
All that's left, though, really, is the epicomic growth. There's nothing of any. There's nothing with any strength. The branch attachments that epicormic growth has to those branches is so weak that if they were allowed to grow to any size, they would just break out.
I didn't say that.
Well, in terms of their ongoing management, they're actually reaching a stage now where they are going to become very difficult to manage. We either let them grow and let the new wood grow to the extent that it becomes unstable and breaks out, or we continue to cut it out, which is an ongoing cost, of course.
Hang on, I think I've got it right. It's Councillor Demo, Councillor Kirk, Councillor Kepper.
How many actual trees
Tim?
is there on the lakefront you're looking at? It doesn't actually say how many.
Well, you could count them off the plan. I think there was about 18 from memory along there, and we are suggesting that we take out, there's 3 in that group there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There must be more than 18 then.
10 out.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. No, it's 25. So we're suggesting 10 out of 25.
Councillor Kirk?
I was just going to say, this is over a 3-year process, so it's not like taking them all out at once. And also, I'd got approached by some ratepayers who had heard a rumour that the trees were going to be taken out because the motels across the road wanted the views. And so I had Gareth explained it at the time that it was that council have been really proactive in planting these trees in between for this very purpose. So, yeah, I think I'd like to move the suggested resolution, knowing and trusting the staff to reduce the trees on the lakefront over a period of 3 years when they definitely need to be moved.
It might be longer than 3 years. 3 years is a, stab in the...
All right, I'm just, going with what it
that's
says
a
on
stab
the
in the
page.
dark, really, I guess. It's based on some science, but, it could be longer than 3 years. But under the tree and vegetation policy, we have to come back to council.
Yeah.
If that policy wasn't there, we'd probably manage them.
And can we also have it that it is just put in the Connect page of the Taupo Times when it's done, so people appreciate why the trees are being removed when they're removed, because they just might think it's just something else that we're doing that they don't like.
Councillor Kepper?
I was just going to say those trees are pretty good looking compared to a lot of ugly ones that we've got in Turangi that are a lot unsafer than them.
That's
Probably quite right too.
So, does Councillor Henderson?
Could I just add the ones in Turangi, we can't remove them, basically, under the current policy.
Well, you can. Policy can be changed. I mean, this didn't even have to come here today if it wasn't for the fact that some of our predecessors have made a policy that staff cannot go out and manage trees without coming back and getting the authority from the elected members. So if you are of a mind to say, we've got really great experienced people in there, let them loose, that's up to you. I've got a suggestion that I would support this resolution, but I would like Barry to go with staff and have a look at all these trees to make sure that only the ones necessary are coming out, because he has got a lifetime experience.
We do have a qualified arborist on our staff.
It doesn't hurt to have two opinions, say a little bit of a debate on the lakefront, have a cup of coffee, lovely day.
It's not a lovely day. It's wrong with it.
Councillor Henderson.
The fundamental, I'm going to simplify for the sake of debate here, but the fundamental problem I see with this matter is that trees can be removed when dead or dying, but practically for no other reason. In particular, costs to infrastructure and ratepayers. And in Turangi, not that we actually know what that figure is, it'd be reasonable to assume it's significant. Like I can just do a breakdown, as I've done for these, for Mr. Ridd, in Turangi, of my own situation, declare conflict of interest. I have a couple of problem trees, but so do a lot of other people. And until some basis for assessing what it's actually costing the ratepayer to continue to prop these things up until they fall over, nothing will change. I suggest that something should change and that should be included in the criteria.
Okay, but that's a separate issue for today, and I think that should be taken on board. However, Councillor Hickley?
So particularly Spa Thermal Park, it is probably doubtful that the returns from the removal of the pines will even generate enough to actually do the work, knowing what the wood prices are at the moment.
We have had a couple of prices for Spa Park, and they both involve a cost to council.
So, but my real concern is, because I know what type of mess it will leave after, what's the plan of perhaps regeneration, or have we got any money in for regeneration? Or
we do have a budget for revegetation of Spa Park, that we're using some of that budget this year for, assuming that
the removal.
Yeah, for the removal, assuming that we get the go-ahead next year.
Yeah, if you recall through the long-term plan, it's 30,000 over so 60,000 over 2 years.
Okay.
Part of it will be for the regeneration.
Yes.
Okay, so Councillor Kirk has signalled you wish to move the motion. Is there a seconder around the room, please? The resolution would fall over, so I'll second it. Seconded Cooper. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Oh, Councillor Downard. Okay. Carried. Taupo District, I would put a note there though, Ms. Rowley and Mr. Ridd, I would appreciate that, particularly those ones on the lakefront. Obviously Councillor Downard has concern, and so does Councillor Hickling. I know you've got qualified, how do you say that word? What are they? Tree doctors. And I'd like to just correlate with them, that because I don't want to see a perfectly good tree chopped down, and next thing is we're all in the paper again for nonsense.
Apologies, Your Worship, but can I ask before the
I'll allow another question, even though the resolution's been passed.
It's really not related to the resolution as such, but it's just that, is this going to be able to be done within your existing budgets? Because it doesn't say under financial. Doesn't really
Answer was yeah.
answer that question. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. Moving now